Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, what is the threshold for a conventional war? If one were to call it a war, come to think of it, the escalations that have transpired in the last couple of hours, I think we are one announcement short of a war. But in your assessment, sir, what's the threshold for calling it a conventional military war?
Whether we are at war, you call it conventional or you call it hybrid, call it proxy, whatever. Right now, it's a conventional war. It's a war. It depends now how we go about it. There is nothing more that as a soldier I can tell you. This is war. This is the way what we are prepared for. This is what we are trained for. And this is what we are doing right now. We are using all that we can, and we should. The aim is to target the source of terror, and that's the Pakistan army. Where is the doubt? Do we need to be qualifying that we are still not at war, or we are still trying to go to nothing? We are at war. What is? If along the LoC, you are fighting with all the might that you have, the Pakis are trying to infiltrate wherever they can. What is it? It's war. We're using air, we're using missiles, we're using drones, we're using Navy, we're using air, everything, the entire, whatever is available to us. We are at war. It's time, and we finish it off at the earliest. There's no question. We have to do it now or never. There is no question that, no, we are just about on an escalatory ladder. We are at war, and let's finish it off.
The reason I asked you that, Lieutenant General, is we haven't declared it yet, and until the government of India declares it yet, I don't have the authority to say it on air. I understand it's your position, it's your point of view, sir.
Declaration is one part. This is war.
I agree 100%, sir. I agree. It's just that until an official declaration comes I think it will be easy for me to do it, but not the right thing for me to do it. Air Marshal Dipendu Chaudhary, I have to ask you, sir, I think any sane Indian in any part of this country is hoping that we do not get any more damaged than the Pakistani forces while they continue to do what they do. The civil force also does not get any more damage. The civilians don't have to be hurt in the process. I think that's not anybody who we speak to today would not want war, at least a full-blown war, one that could hurt our soldiers as well. Where does the de-escalation start from here? Because come to think of it, if you assess everything that has transpired in the last couple of hours, it does look like Pakistan is undeterred. It wants to hurt us militarily. It is hurting our civilian forces as well. It's hurting our civilians to the point at least 15 people have died in Poonch alone. Shelling is reported once again in Uri. So it is continuing with its effort to build pressure on India. If it were to de-escalate from here, sir, what measures could we expect?
Thank you, Shweta. I'll just step back a few paces and just go over a few aspects. One was on the US position vis-a-vis India. Some of their open statements indicate the level of their engagement and knowledge and awareness. You are aware of what the President of the United States mentioned. He says, this war, this has been going on for centuries. Obviously, a century ago, we didn't have Pakistan. So obviously, their general awareness is on the lower side. And then the spokesperson, we are getting clubbed with the Middle East. So that's the realm of the US depth of engagement. And I think it was very aptly brought out. I think very clear to India that India has to solve its own problems. So the US is not really going to do very much to it. And all these agreements that we have, which was out. Frankly, these are agreements all biased towards assistance from India to America should they get into an engagement, especially in the Indo-Pacific construct in the recent years. So that's an entirely different spin. On the issue of, if you noticed, they tried, in the discussion, which you showed right at the beginning, and they brought in this religious factor. This is nothing surprising because given General Munir's statement, where he brought out openly about this two-nation theory and how Hindus are entirely different, I think that would have set some narrative, and that would have put the idea in the minds of a lot of common Americans who are not aware, and in fact, a lot of Americans in positions of power who are not aware of the intricacies and the dynamics which occur in this part of the country. On the issue of the drones, which have been coming in on a large scale, like we discussed it last evening as well, this is bound to happen. They are trying very hard to saturate our systems. And now these mass-scale drones which have come in, which have been tackled wonderfully by I think the Army's air
Right.
defense, and it's a credit to the older guns which have paid dividends in the high-end technology. But do understand these are cheap, low-level drones which are meant to saturate and create more nuisance value than real serious damage. But like I said, drones are from different scales and levels. On the issue of war, now that's a very interesting thing. If you notice, in the last several decades, I don't think any country has really declared war. Even the Russia-Ukraine war is not a declared war, but the definition of war has become so diffused, and this kind of a gray zone warfare, which we have been talking about for decades, that has been happening. And what has happened in India and the actions taken by Pakistan are classic copycat sort of tactics, which they have lifted off from the playbook of the Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran against Israel. And obviously, they've been watching the Russo-Ukraine war very carefully. So this is a mixed match approach to warfare. But the fact is, which was brought out also by, I think, one of the speakers, I think with General Kulkarni, when he underlined it very clearly, that they have brought in their hard power into action as well and have started hitting military targets. So this escalates it to a higher level. Whether India will declare it a war, or will it continue in this manner in a diffuse sort of a rollover into a higher degree and higher level of operations? But one thing I'm absolute in agreement, that there is no denying that hard power will have to kick in at some point if this game goes on.
All right.
De-escalation is in the hands of the Pakistan.
All right.
Unless and until the Pakistani military realizes this, and unfortunately the military is under tremendous pressure to save face. So this is going to be a challenge.